try doing this and doing this just to make sure.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so everybody can hear okay. I'm back here now. Hopefully, I have no idea right now if I'm going through my microphone, but this room is small. I think you'll be able to hear me okay. I'll know as soon as I listen to it. But when I try to switch gears like this, then I'm not sure where things are coming from. But as long as you can hear, we're good to go. So if somebody can give me the thumbs up that you can hear, good. You can hear me. That's what I need to get started. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so we've been working on cross-country ski stuff. It's been really a nice practice. Last week we worked on a little bit of the outward movement, lateral movement with skate skiing, and 2 weeks ago we did more parallel. And this week I thought we'd come back into a little more parallel work. And I wanted to work specifically with the core and kind of right here in this band, which we work a lot in the Pilates work of knitting the ribs in. And then I thought we'd work a little bit with the dynamics of kind of having a free hip, but also a really strong kick, because part of your movement when you're doing cross-country skiing is in the parallel, in the classic sense, is that kick back here. So we're going to be working a little bit with like strong back here, opening here, and having that. So those are the two things we'll work on today. I've got a chair, my blanket, a strap, and my weights. So have those things handy. And then let's come down to the floor to start. And taking a breath in and exhaling. And then when you're ready, let's take the hands, interlacing the fingers, bring them behind the head. And letting the elbows come up. Exhaling to find your way up. Relaxing the legs here. If we're talking about this knitting the ribs piece, we're getting that. Can we relax the front of the thighs, especially right in the hip crease? And slowly coming back. And with an exhale coming up. And another thing we might find that we do when we are coming up, we compensate by drawing in at the glutes or right at the tail. And so we bring those, we bring the tailbone up and away. We kind of bring the low back to the floor. That's not necessarily wrong, but just notice if you're doing that. Come on back. So there might be a time and a place for that. But let's see if we can leave our tail out there and challenge, still coming up, knitting the ribs. And then let's bring the hands behind the legs, bringing the legs up. Here's another nice way we can kind of take the sitting bones and reach them out toward the end of your mat. And yet, I'm going to pull up a little bit with my arms to see if I can really challenge that knitting the ribs piece. 5, 4, relaxing at the hip crease. 2, 1, and then coming back. And releasing, letting the head come back, the shoulders come back. Taking a breath in and out. Good. Hands alongside the body. And then let's bring the knees over the hips. And let's do some knee folds. So tapping the heel down to the floor and coming back up. Low belly, really helping to stabilize the pelvis here. knee folds, one on each side, continuing like that. Now, if you'd like a little more challenge, you can start to reach that heel out just a little further out on your mat. Still coming up to balance in between. And then let's bring the legs in and let those hip creases be as creased as they'd like. And the low back gets to enjoy the floor, the mid back, maybe even your upper back. Maybe you feel that all really nicely supported. And relaxing in the jaw. And let's go ahead and take the hands behind the head again. And using your hands as that support for the head, your elbows in that not too close to the head feeling and not too far out. And then let's find our way up again. And then let's float the knees over the hips. And in this position, let's take one leg out, one knee in, and switch, and switch. Now, as soon as we start moving the legs, we might feel like our upper body kind of comes back to find a comfortable spot. See if you can find your way up again. And you might even take your hands away. The hands land on the leg that comes in. Exhaling, choose a leg that comes in to exhale. Make sure you're inhaling. And last one. Bring the legs down, bring the upper body down, and relax the upper body again. Relax the throat, the chest, and softening the eyes. Good, nice work. Hands alongside the body. Let's bring the feet up. A little bit straighter leg here. We're going to take that leg in toward you. Let's just grab onto one of them to start, actually. Let the other one float to a comfortable position. One leg is kind of coming in toward you. You're feeling a little stretch there probably because we haven't warmed up very much. Let's take that knee up, or bending the knee, toes up and down a couple times. And try the other one. So bringing that leg in, and we'll do just kind of an up and down here. Been doing a lot of driving, so my hamstrings kind of get a little short with that. And probably just not used, right? End up sitting a lot for the work I've needed to do this month and sitting in the car. So even if I get a little bit of exercise in, it's not a lot of movement in my day. So that feels good. Now we can go back to where we were working on. So it feels a little better now to pull that leg in a little bit, a little straighter, and switch. Let that leg go down and switch. And you can grab on wherever it's comfortable. And I'm not doing a lot of like pulling here, just kind of stabilizing the leg as it comes in. And then if you'd like to add, head can come up and you can do a little pulse. Good. And then we're going to grab on. You can always take a break here if you'd like. I'm going to bring my heels together, Pilates V. Point the toes, be nice and broad with the balls of the feet. Let the legs lower and come back up. And lower and come back up. And lower and lift. Again, I can be working on this with my head on the floor. A couple more here. And letting any tension that's needed to hold this come from the belly and maybe the heels connecting a little. That's where I'm finding that nice connection. Bring the legs in and rest the back again. Good, we're going to do one more there. I'm just going to try to quiet something here. And on the back, I'm going to bring the heels together like we did. And to complete the stomach series, frog legs. Out and in. Out and in. So working in the hips, working in the belly. Reaching with the toes, kind of wake the feet up a little bit. And if you'd like, we're going to do 4 more here. Maybe the head comes up. Maybe the legs go a little more parallel with the floor or at a diagonal instead of straight up. And there we have it, bringing the legs down, bringing the upper body down. All right. Good work. So we're going to take that into one more thing. When we're skiing, when we come to a flat, when we have some speed going, we do a thing called double poling. It takes place really in this core area, right where the rib knitting happens. So we use our arms, we also use the core a little bit, and it sits right in all of these practices that we've just been doing, having a strong rectus abdominis, having strong obliques. So we're going to come up, and I like this way of coming into the 100 of grabbing onto the legs, using the elbows, using my arms quite a bit to start, because I can lift myself up a lot more than I would if my hands were behind my head. So I like that support. And then I like to loosen the hands. Let go a little bit. The hands can stay there, but I'm not gripping with my fingers anymore. Trying to stay up there. And then if you'd like, you can take the hands alongside and pump. Or you keep the hands there. Keep one hand there. And we'll pump at a pretty good clip. And keep on pumping, but we want to breathe as well. Good. Let's see if we can do 2 more breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. And then coming down and relaxing everything. If you were feeling a little chilly, maybe you're not feeling so chilly anymore. That core work tends to really warm us up. I'm going to find a way up to seated. Might just use one of these straight legs, hands behind the knee to find my way up and come up to seated. Good. So then let's find the feet on the floor, knees bent, and take a good deep breath, kind of what they would say the Buddha breath, like letting all the muscles relax in the belly, because we're going to use them again. So just make sure they've had a chance to be off. And then rolling back behind the sit bones, pulling belly back, and then adjusting your feet, maybe to come in a little bit more, elbows out to the side, that same hand grip we had, but not gripping, not really grabbing on, just placed there to help support us here, because we're going to take those hands away. So feeling the feet here, taking one hand away, let's take it up, and let's take it down. Let's take it up and let it fall down to the mat. Up and falling down, up and falling down, coming back behind the leg. Come on up. Let the belly relax. Wouldn't think that would be too hard, depending on how often I do it. It tends to sneak up on me. Just moving that arm up and down. So getting positioned again on that for the second side, belly pulling back. Hands helping stabilize here. Then I'm going to take that other hand away, up and falls down, up and falls down. And if you have space in your awareness here to notice what wants to grip here. So can we keep it out of the legs as we go up and down, more in the belly and even in the obliques. I feel that a lot of help there. I want to use those, go ahead and come on up. I want to use those thigh muscles in there, and I can feel a little bit of that happening deep, but not so much way on the front where it's starting to, where it really is kind of grabbing at it. So that's what we're working for or toward, is to kind of feel a little bit less of that. All right, hands behind you. And wherever it's comfortable for the hands. Sometimes if they're farther out, it feels best for the fingertips to be out. Some people like to bend the elbows a little bit here. We're going to do a little bit of leg work. Let's come to that Pilates V a little bit. Your heels don't have to touch, but let's turn the toes out and extend the toes and get nice and broad in the ball of the foot. And then belly turned on, upper body poised. Again, wherever that's comfortable for you. We're not taking the chest and kind of thrusting it forward, but we're also not slumping down. It's just that nice, finding that nice middle ground there. And then let's lift the leg up and down here. Let's go 8. Good. And relax that leg. Again, I'm turned out a little bit with my foot, with my knee. The whole femur gets turned out, and we're going to lift. Now, certainly we're using leg muscle. We're going to use those hip flexors. Can you also sense the belly working? Pull that belly in. We're way behind the sit bone again. Last one. Whew. I don't know how many I did, but that side was a little harder. Unusual, but that's the way it goes. All right, very nice. Maybe take a little stretch forward here, however you'd like. It doesn't have to look like anything special, just nice and opposite of what we were doing. And then let's find our way up to the feet. All right, seeing how our work feels now that we're on our feet. Just doing that core work, a little bit of wake up in the feet, even though we weren't on them, a little wake up in the hands. I don't know, maybe you feel that too, just starting to breathe and work in the belly, help my shoulders. It's amazing how the core supports us low and up high. So let's take this into a little bit of footwork here, just waking up the feet a little more with a tactile sense. We've got the floor to push back, a biofeedback. So let's just lift the heel, spread out the toes, and come down. And just practice a little bit of, for your own foot, feeling aware of the floor, the pinky, and all the other toes, your ankle. Mine's wanting to do a little cracking this morning, but as I get going, it usually works itself out. And I'll do the same on the other side, spreading the toes apart, lifting, lifting, And more than considering this a stretch, either before or after I work, before or after I ski, right? It's just kind of preparing the muscles in a way. I'm not trying to lengthen the muscles. I'm not trying to strengthen necessarily, although I feel a little bit of that here. I'm just waking everything up. So when I put that boot on to go for a hike, bike, even swim, right? When we're swimming, we definitely have a position for the feet. Just kind of getting ready. So some of the best things we can do before we go exercise are the things that you're going to be doing when you exercise. It's almost like the warm up, right? Is I think probably better than the stretch of your. So good. All right, we're going to take that into this sense of pushing your foot back. So it's like you're wiping your feet off. We'll do this a lot in the spring when there's a little more mud on your feet, but you might come in now and we wipe our feet off on the welcome mat. So pushing back, if you've got a very slippery floor like I have here, I'm just going to push down a little bit more. So I can be on my mat, I've got a little resistance there, or on this very slippery floor, I'm just going to push at the beginning here. Push at the beginning. And you can even take your hand to the back of the leg then and sense, yeah, we need this part of the body to help us push that leg back. Good. Other side, pushing back, spreading the ball of the foot out. A little bit harder once I put my boot on. I kind of feel that, but giving my foot every advantage I can and my leg to wake up. Good. 2, 1. Very nice. All right. Might need something to hang on to or give yourself a little balance with here. I'm going to take one leg up and I want to take my heel as close to my seat as I can without hanging onto it. I mean, we might do this stretch, right? When we can kind of grab onto the foot and do that stretch for the front of the leg. I'm a little bit more concerned about the back of the leg. Can we bring that heel up and keep your knee going straight down? A lot of times we want to bring the heel up and our knee comes forward. So bring your knee straight in, straight down to the floor and squeezing here. Can you feel that hamstring starting to get a little tired? I can, but I'm waking it up. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and release it. Let's go ahead and swing. Just swing in the hip. Let it be free. Good. And try the other side. We started with squeezing, knee down, body in alignment. I'm not necessarily going forward here, trying to keep everything nice and up and down. Heel toward my bum, waking up the hamstrings. I can even feel on this side, my inner hamstring wants to be, it's feeling it a little bit more than the other hamstrings. For some reason, that one's the one that's waking up. 3, 2, 1, and swing. We'll go ahead and let everything kind of shake out. Plus we get that freedom in the hip that, you don't have to be as drastic as I am about this, is big movement. It just feels okay for me, but it can be much less, right? When we're skiing, we're probably not going to be swinging. We don't swing way out in front, and only if we're feeling really good are we going to really bring that leg way back there. All right. Grab your weights and let's keep these legs going. So weights in front, feet in parallel. I've got them a little bit wider than my hips. And then let's take that down into a squat. Good. Down at your sides, up in the center. Down at the sides, up in the center. Down and up. Down and up. Good. Feeling the legs. Can you feel the underside of the legs as well? A lot of times I think we can sense the quadriceps. See if when you push up, you can feel the hamstrings squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Let's do 2 more. Good. Okay. I'm going to keep it in the lower body mostly. Going to use the upper body. Going to come forward into those deadlifts again. So coming forward, a little bend in the knee, but I'm really going to come forward in the torso, let that weight come down. And as I come up, I'm going to be using my back body. Take those weights down in front and then to the side a little bit. Now, I could probably have a little more weight here. So I'm going to give myself a little more weight by coming to 1 foot. 1 foot ahead, the other foot behind. I've got both of them on the floor. I have both of them in parallel, so both toes going forward. And I'm going to see about coming up in this split deadlift. Good. What happens if I lighten up the load on that back foot, lifting the heel? Now I'm using a little bit more this front leg all on its own. And last one on that side. Good. We're going to do the other side. Let's do a round of bicep curls. Bringing it into the upper body, giving the legs a little rest. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Good. That split squat on this side. So I'm going to start with both feet down. Check it out. Weights forward, coming up. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then I can lift that heel back there. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What if I did 3 more? I'm on my tippy toe back there. Again, this is only up the ante. Don't do that if you're feeling like the balance isn't there for you. 3, 2, 1. All right, back to center. Nicely done. All right, bring those weights up center here. And I'm going to do a little balance, lift the knee. Balance, lift. Balance, not as long. Balance, spread the toes. Balance. If you want, weights come out away from you toward each knee. All right, come back to center. Let's try a couple more squats. Let's take the feet wider for these, turning the toes out. We're going to let the weights come down in the center. Here we go. Good. All right, and then walking the feet back together. Let's put the weights down for a moment. I can have them nearby just in case it works out for me to use them. I'll spin my chair around just so I've got the back of the chair if I need it. You may be able to do this without any support, but if you have your chair nearby, that's always nice. We're going to take that split squat, but we're going to widen it. So a bigger step forward, coming back here, ball of the foot. And then hands might be at your wall or at the chair or at the waist. And I'm bending this front knee already, leaning forward. And we're going to do a kick off the back and come back to tap here. So the sprinter lunge, tap, back. And you might find that this coming back is equally challenging as that coming forward, right? So we're working the front leg. We're also working balance, proprioception. Where are we in space? Back and forward. And if you'd like, you can take your arms and move them opposite the legs. So back, back. And you can lift the knee. So these are all up the antes from working at tapping the toe up front here. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, 1. And good. Shake it out a little. So maybe you're starting to feel that on your standing leg. I definitely was feeling that. Hamstrings, glutes, everything is really helping me keep steady there. And I'm going to take that stance on the other side. So big old step back. My heel doesn't come down real comfortably, so I'm going to let it be up. Ball of the foot nice and broad. Leaning forward. Hand can be at my wall or wherever it needs to be. Fingertips. Tap and back. Tap and back. 3. I'm going to give up the ante. And we can up the ante by bringing the knee up, by moving the arms. Tapping, pushing off back there, of exploding forward. Trying not to put yourself off balance by looking at a monitor. 3, 2, 1. And coming back down, shake it out. Let's even take our hands or fists and then come to one side so that you're balancing on one leg, and this leg can be kind of floppy and the back of the leg can feel. I'm just kind of taking my fist and anything that might have felt like really worked it. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Little wake up. It's awake, right? Maybe a little, it's okay to relax now. All right. I'm going to grab my strap. You could use your weights as well here. I'm going to do that underhand hold with a little pull on my band. And then let's bring that into a bicep curl. Pull, release. Pull, release. Pull, pull. 4, 3, 2, 1. And release the shoulders, release everything there. Take that same grip, so let your fingers do a little wiggle here, your thumbs, everything, so that now your grip it feels fresh. And take those arms up. And as you do so, you're going to take a little pull here again, and this time the pull is down and up, down and up, down and up, down. Give it a nice pull toward the end there. You can feel your muscles coming on, even if at the top of it it's a little elusive. When you come down, give it a little more pull on the band. Good. And relax that again. Nice. You can put that band back down on the floor. Come to the back of your mat. I'll clear mine off. I've got all the space I need. Let's take those arms and take the head forward. Rolling down. You can feel those core muscles we turned on a few minutes ago, right? 20 minutes ago, we already were working so much with the core. We can feel that here. And now we get to let the spine enjoy this getting upside down a little bit. Also, the pulling in at the ribs. You might feel that expansion in your back body. So give that just a moment here. Full breaths out. And then your choice if you'd like to come to hands and knees, or if you'd like to crawl out here to plank directly. So you can always come there from hands and knees. But either way, you're going to find your way to plank position on hands or on the knees, or with the knees lifted, reaching back through the heels, and find your legs really working here. Find your hamstrings and your quadriceps really squeezing to help lift the pelvis, head in alignment. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to crawl our way back. You can come down to hands and knees and find your way back that way. And then when you get to your feet, rolling up again and enjoying that roll up. When you come all the way up, go ahead and adjust the shoulders and adjust the head to being right on top of the spine. Good. Let's take the arms up this time, all the way up. And just like we were doing spine stretch, we're going to take the ribs back again, rounding through the middle of the shoulder blades. Our back really likes to do that. Keep that rounding going as you get to the middle of the back, as you get to the lower back. See how long you can keep connection there. And then as you're ready, walking forward with the hands. Head in alignment. This time I'm going to do a little dance. Knees come down. Maybe I even point the toes and bring the feet up. Toes come back, turning under, lift. Knees come down. Toes come up. Toes come down, lift. Knees come down. Toes come up. Lift. Walk back. Rolling up. Arms come up. Moving through the spine. Already feels a lot different than the first time I went through. Feels very nice and supple at At that third time through, I'm going to come back to my plank position. And then I'm going to take one foot off the floor. Toe, heel, toe, and back. Toe, heel, toe, and back. Knees coming down. Walking the hands apart a little bit. Bring your hips into alignment so that you're in plank position or push-up position. And let's do some push-ups. You're welcome to do your chest all the way to the floor. You're welcome to do 50%. Bend in the elbows. Whatever's going to get you to 8. 5. 4. And go ahead and come back into a child's pose or seated. Good. And shake out the wrists if that feels good for you. I've been doing a lot of computer stuff, so one hand definitely feeling a little bit of that. It's nice to do these practices to work on that stuff that kind of ends up in my thumb, ends up in the forearms a little bit. Okay, well, let's see here. Yeah. All right. I'd like to work one more weighted activity. So bringing yourself to hands and knees here. Let's grab one weight. If you're working in and you're heading out to ski, one of the areas we talked about the belly, we also really tend to use the arms. So let's go ahead and take that elbow in and press back and press back. So elbow is in, shoulder is kind of brought up. I'm only hinging at the elbow, not moving at the shoulder. If you want to feel a little bit more and your weights are a little less, you're going to really push through at the end, taking your thumb and first finger, kind of pointing it back toward your feet. 3, 2, 1. And go ahead and switch. You'll be glad to support yourself with your other hand. And let's bring that elbow in toward the ribs. Shoulder blade is kind of tucked on the back here, and press back. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. Weight down. All right. All the weight off of the wrists. Sometimes I'll even just sweep down from the elbow through the hand, each side. Okay, so you might use the seat of your chair or 2 blocks here if it's not comfortable for your hands to be on the floor. We're going to come to taking one, since my chair is here, I'm just going to spin that around so I have the seat near me. I'm going to take 1 foot forward and go ahead and scoot it forward as much as you can. So scrunching your toes to come forward. And then let's take the hips forward and see about getting a little opening in the front of the legs. And I can use my chair here for support. And then if you'd like, as though you were going to pull that knee forward, pushing into the floor a little bit. So I've got a cushion. It feels okay on my knee. I'm giving a little bit of pressure down as I come forward. And then if you'd like, you can even take yourself a little bit into a twist. very gently. Doesn't have to go very far here. Coming back to center. Good. And then let's come the opposite direction, letting your toes come up in the front. And again, it's nice to have the wall nearby. Maybe your fingertips are at the wall as you come back. Maybe it feels comfortable for your hands to be kind of supporting on the floor. And then let's push our heel down just a little bit. So some of us can really be flat in the knee here. Let's give ourselves a little something to push against for the hamstring. Pushing the heel down as you think about your hips going down. That's a lot of stretch for me, and I like to keep it active. I like to keep that stretch active. Go ahead and bring the knees together. All right, make any adjustments you need to. Maybe that includes a blanket under the knees. Mine really was okay on the other side, but it's here, so I can be even more comfortable this time. I'm going to bring the toes forward, hands to the seat of the chair, and I can decide how far forward I'm going to go now. Knee feels really nice now. Going to apply the same thing. This could be passive, just hanging out here, or I can push that knee as though I'm going to push it down into the floor. It's almost like I'm going to drag it forward. Now it's active. Now I feel everything kind of working. But in the end, I think I'm going to get a better result. Here we go. And then coming back, I could bring that, see how I did that? Brought the chair with me so nicely. Heel pressing down. Even though my leg could get even straighter, I feel like I want some pushing down also. Heel pushes down, hip is heading down. And I'm just going to pause where it feels like plenty of muscly things going on. I'm not going to go past that. Heel pressing down and coming back up. Good. Chair out of the way. Blanket or pillow if you've got it. Might as well put it underneath our heads. Coming onto the back. And taking a breath in. Last week we worked a little bit with crossing the legs and how much that gives us a little bit of stretch on the outside of the body. Today I thought we'd just keep working in the hips a little bit more. I said that'd be part of our theme, was the back of the leg having that kick, but also having some freedom in the hips, feeling that nice swing. So let's take one leg across. Let's do our 4 square. One leg across, and I like to not land on the ankle. So the ankle's past my leg. And then taking your hands to your waistband. So whatever clothing you have on has a waistband, and I notice right away on this side of my body, as soon as I try to take my knee away, the whole waistband shifts. So I'm just aware of that. I'm going to try to keep my waistband horizontal, and I'm still going to see about taking my knee away. Now on this side of my body, there's not a lot of movement there. There's some old injury stuff showing up in my age here, and it just doesn't want to necessarily move as much as it used to. So but I feel a lot of that good dynamic work happening. Knee is headed out this way. I'm resisting letting my hips just go along with it because I'm not really doing anything then. I'm keeping the waistband horizontal. Now, some of you may be like, this is my good side, or both sides are fine. Maybe you want to bring that lower leg up. This is going to intensify what you're doing. See if you can keep your active pushing going. You could also push with your hands, but I like to keep my brain on task to pushing away. And now I've got so much going on, it's like trembly. Here we go. Coming down, and I'm going to let that leg relax. Might even just let it flop a little side to side. And the other side across, past the ankle. Sometimes we can be a little passive with the foot. You might try an active foot here. And horizontal waistband, I'm going to see about pushing the knee away here. A little more opening for me on this side. I still tend to want to kind of pull, shift the whole body down. The pelvis is moving then, not my hip. So maybe I take that bottom leg up. Definitely a lot of deep work going on as my knee continues to push away. My foot is somewhat active here, reaching through the heel. And then releasing. And let's do that same thing, kind of letting the leg wag a little bit back and forth. And releasing that. Let's bring the feet up toward the ceiling. If you'd like, you can lift up your hips and bring your hands underneath, kind of support the legs being up a little bit. Maybe the eyes close. Maybe you notice the energy in the body, but the respiratory rate, heart rate has kind of gone down. I'm going to take my hands away from underneath the pelvis and just hang on to the backs of the legs. I can have as much bend in the knees as I'd like here. And then bending the knees completely to bring the feet to the floor. Relaxing the toes. Relaxing the forehead. Relaxing the jaw. And then we'll go ahead and roll to our sides and find our way upward, up to seated. Good. So there we have it. We're all set for skiing. Maybe we'll do some more of this in January. We'll see where my interests lie by then, or if you have any interest, you can let me know. I believe we are off next week and the week after. So make good use of the video library. I love going to the video library. It really helps keep me on course, and also I get to check out stuff I might have missed. So everybody have a really wonderful rest of the year. I look forward to seeing you again in January. And I'm teaching on Tuesday and Wednesday next semester. So it's a little, normally I kind of skip a day. Tomorrow, or this next semester will be a little bit different, but I'll be teaching one of these classes and in a movement lab. So a little more yoga sprinkled into that movement lab. Looking forward to that too. See you soon.